Now, live from Bethnal Green, it's Comedy Unleashed.
My name's Andrew Doyle. Some of you might recognise me. I was at the bar earlier. I'm not going to be offensive tonight. I keep accidentally offending people. I was accused of being homophobic recently. I'm definitely not homophobic. Most of the men I've slept with have been gay. I don't have an issue with it, you know. But it's very weird being called things like that. It was after a gig, actually, and I didn't want to have to say to this guy, actually, mate, I'm gay myself. So I thought, why is that relevant? Why should I have to say that? I thought of other subtle ways I might convey my liberal credentials. You know, I thought about saying, well, I can't be homophobic. I've got a cat called Chiquitita. The reason why people get so offended these days is a lot of activists have gone online and they've stirred everything up, and even celebrities are getting involved. Did you see the campaign that Philip Schofield did against knife crime? He did it. It was a hashtag thumbs down to knife crime, and there was a big photograph of Philip Schofield doing that. No, not having it, you know. And the weirdest thing about that, people are still stabbing each other. I don't know. I don't know why. I can't work that out. You know what I mean? It's almost as though hardened gangsters and criminals don't give a shit about what Philip Schofield thinks. I know, it's all these, and all the online, you know, all these phrases get degraded, political discourse gets degraded, everyone's a fascist online. Everyone's calling each other, and fascism, you know, we shouldn't degrade that term, it means something. You know, fascism is not if you read the Daily Mail, if you vote Tory, that's not, fascism is, it's the KKK, Combat 18, Mumsnet, you know, it means something, it has to mean something. Because I feel like so many of these progressive phrases and language that are thrown around, they don't mean... Toxic masculinity, I was accused of this the other day. I was accused of toxic masculinity. And look, I get it, right? Like, men are like... Our sexuality, we're like dogs. I get that, you know? And we've always known that. Even the ancient writers knew about this, you know, like with the myth of the sirens, you know, the myth of the... You know, the sort of mermaids. The mermaids that would lure sailors to their deaths on the rocks, even though they've got gills and no vaginas. But... You know, I suppose after a few months at sea, who wouldn't be tempted by a tit wank with a sexy fish? I think it's particularly weird in comedy when people get offended by comedy. You know, I don't understand that at all. I think this is very weird. I don't think comedians should be legislated. I mean, like, there's this idea amongst activists that they think that, you know, jokes are potentially dangerous. You know, if jokes aren't regulated, they might spiral out of control. You know, because let's not forget that Al Qaeda started life as an improvisational sketch group. We're comedians. We make shit up. I'm not even gay. You know what I mean? Like, we just say stuff. We just say stuff. Doesn't mean anything. Anyway, we're going to bring on our first act. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Leo Kearse.
Hello, London. How you doing? You well? Nice to be here. My name's Leo. I'm from Scotland, in case you're wondering why you can't understand the noise coming out of my face. Did you enjoy lockdown? Yeah, who'd have thought, like, getting paid 80% of your salary to sit in your arse watching Netflix and wanking would be popular? I mean, it's amazing. No, the pandemic in Scotland was... we had a pretty good one. The average age of coronavirus victims in Scotland is actually older than the average life expectancy. Mental. People in Scotland are living longer if they get coronavirus. It's Man, in Scotland, coronavirus isn't a disease, it's an antioxidant. Like, the Scottish diet is so bad, you can actually introduce a bat virus into it. And Scottish bodies just go, what is this? Is this fibre? It's mental, man. Some people in Glasgow are now making it into their 30s. It's never been seen before. Man, we should be injecting old people with coronavirus so they can enjoy a couple of extra years on the golf course. I'm not a doctor, but neither's Bill Gates, so fuck it. You know? He's too helpful for my liking. Like, why is he so helpful? I never trust a man who's that helpful. You know what I mean? It's like trying to cure malaria, then HIV. Now he's trying to cure coronavirus. It's like, who are you trying to fuck? Quite a lot of people, apparently. That's why his wife left him. But $300 billion. If I had that much money, I wouldn't be trying to, like, stop coronavirus and stuff. If I had $300 billion, I would be paying Instagram influencers to eat teaspoons of my shit. It's a much better use of the money, you know? What about face masks? Did you wear face masks? Yeah, I didn't wear a face mask because I'm exempt. Because if you say you're exempt, you don't have to wear one. That's what I found out. But I got stopped at Euston Station. This policeman stopped me. He was like, "Excuse me, sir, where's your face mask?" And I was like, "I'm exempt." But then I thought, it's a policeman, I better give an excuse. So I said, I'm exempt because masks give me anxiety. Because anxiety is like a thing now. It used to be a valid emotion that was useful to feel because it would stop you like jumping into the sea with sharks or doing a TikTok video about your pronouns. You know what I mean? Now it's like a thing that's got to be eliminated. But anyway, the policeman was like, "Where's your mask?" I was like, I'm exempt because masks give me anxiety. And he was like, "Well, where's your lanyard saying that?" I was like, "Lanyards give me anxiety as well." I thought the NHS had a good pandemic, though. I thought they did well. I'm still in favour of private medical care, though. I know the NHS covers everybody, it works out cheaper and more efficient, but I prefer private medical care because you don't have to be grateful. Coming out every Thursday, clapping your hands like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you, NHS. Thank you for doing the jobs you willingly chose to do in return for money." You know they're getting paid. Getting pensions and stuff. The way everybody carries on, you think they're all volunteers crawling to the hospital over broken glass. Man, banging pots and pans together. You know how many frying pan handles I went through this pandemic? Now I'm in hospital every 2 weeks, not with coronavirus, with burnt hands from trying to flip a pancake. Man, the only other people we clap for fulfilling their basic job obligations is Ryanair when the plane lands. And I think in both cases it's because we know we're total scumbags and we've drastically underpaid for a service. We're just amazed to be alive. There is no way a £5.99 flight to Lanzarote should land anywhere near the fucking tarmac. Man, that thing should just break up over the Atlantic. We'll go screaming into the ocean. We don't even mind. It's $5.99. What a bargain. Can't even hug your family goodbye because you haven't paid £4 extra to sit next to each other. You know, they do that, those Ryanair fucks. You get to check in, they're like, "Do you want to sit next to each other?" It's like, why can't we sit next to each other? We're getting on the same plane. And they're like, no, unless you give us £4 extra each, we're going to move you around in the little seating sharks. You're nowhere fucking near each other, getting their fucking dicks. You're not getting any extra service for that £4. You're not getting anything, like, special. You're literally paying them to not be dicks. That's like if you went to the bar here and you said, "Can I have a pint of lager, please?" And the barman's like, "Certainly, sir, that'll be £4. Or £8 if you don't want me to dip my balls in it." I know some of you might be concerned that we've got like 200 people all like crammed in together like this, you know, in the sort of tail end of a pandemic. But just to put your minds at ease, I'd just like to finish by saying that Black Lives Matter and climate change is real. Now, for some reason, we're immune.
That is
I don't think Extinction Rebellion will catch on in Glasgow. I saw them on the news in Trafalgar Square. They're gluing their hands like that to buses in Trafalgar Square. Like, that wouldn't work in Glasgow. If you glued your hands like that to a bus in Glasgow, within about 30 seconds, somebody would come up behind you, nick your mobile phone and pump you in the arse. That bus wouldn't move for about 3 weeks. Like, everybody in Glasgow would have a go shagging your arse. Your arse would get its own TripAdvisor page. When they got bored shagging it, they use it for parking their bikes and keeping their tea towels tidy. Folks, thanks for coming out and supporting live comedy. I've been Leo Kerst. You've been fantastic. Cheers. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the wonderful Tanya Edwards.
Hi. Thank you. It is lovely to be here. It's wonderful to be out. Isn't it? My God, what a year and a half it has been. Before this shit started, I had a husband that travelled. Now I have a husband working upstairs wondering if I've emptied the dishwasher yet. Catching up with everyone, hearing their news. What have you been up to apart from eating your way into a vulnerable group? I think I found it hard because I'm a people person. You know, I'm a people person. I love people. I missed people. I missed people. I missed the cleaner. I missed the babysitter. I can't tell you how much the babysitter, I missed her so much. I love her so much. I'm so grateful to her to be back. I'm clinging on to her every word, every story she has the time. I'm listening to it all. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I loved my children last March, but I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that she's back. She told me that she's been spending her time expressing her vulnerability on Instagram. I said, why? She said, I realised I've been keeping a lot of stuff inside. What a fabulous place to keep it. I am upset that we let them close down our city. I am. I think it's a disgrace. I love London. It devastates me to see what we've let them do. I think it's outrageous. Sure. We have a few problems in London. Yeah. No, bit of a problem with knife crime. God, I miss knife crime. And I've lost some of my closest friends to knife crime. Every time a kid gets stabbed, another one of my friends moves to Brighton. But you've got to be positive. You've got to be positive. You've got to be positive. There's lots to be positive about. Now that every turtle in the ocean is wearing a mask, we can all enjoy drinking gin with plastic straws again. Thank you for that, Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg, my God, that is a homework project that got out of control. You've been absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me. I've been trying to...
I think people just assume I'm straight, you know, because I drink beer and I've got my own spirit level. But I think, you know, but ultimately, I don't feel part of the gay community. I don't even like the phrase gay. Like, what the fuck's a gay community? Who's in this gay community, you know? I'm in it. Martina Navratilova's in it. Ricky Martin. Gok Wan. Is that a community? Or is that a travelling fucking freak show? I just don't get... And like, a lot of my gay friends are very much into identity politics now, and they'll use the LGBT thing, and they'll self-identify. They say things like, oh, well, speaking as an LGBT person. Like, you can't be an LGBT person. You can't be lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Or if you are, you must be fucking exhausted, you know. I mean, those letters are out of control, aren't they? They're out of control now. Like, the current one is LGBTQIA+, right? And that is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual, asexual, and then the plus is whatever cunt we've forgotten, basically. And that fucking rainbow flag, I've had it with the rainbow flag. Like, do you know what? I used to be fine with the rainbow flag. I can make my peace with the rainbow, you know, with the harmony and what it represents and all that. It's the new fucking stripes and triangles and all the other stuff that they cram in, and it looks ugly as fuck. It's like, you know, I mean, like, what kind of gay person doesn't know how to colour coordinate? This is ridiculous. It just looks awful. And this all started, by the way, when the Pride organisers added a brown stripe and a black stripe because they said the original rainbow gay flag was not sufficiently racially inclusive. Because, of course, what that rainbow flag means is it is a literal representation of the range of skin colours that are acceptable within the gay community. That's what it means. That's what it's always meant. That's what, you know, it's fine. If you're bright purple, you can be a gay. That's not a problem. We're fine with that. If you've got sunburn, you can be gay as well. Come on board. It's absolutely fine. If you think about it, though, if you think about this, right, so the rainbow in the actual sky doesn't have a black stripe or a brown stripe. And that, of course, means that the weather is racist. Yeah? You know, if we want to be true progressives, what we have to do, we have to petition meteorologists and get them to find a way to modify the process by which light is refracted and dispersed in order to combat the inherent racism of the electromagnetic spectrum. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Preet Singh.
I'm your diversity quota. It's amazing. I am brown. Boo. It's tricky growing up brown here in the UK. Like, I had a job when I was 8 years old. I was a live-in translator for my parents. Like, doctors, opticians, banks. I was the only 8-year-old in my entire school that had a mortgage consultation in their diary. Like, kids would come up to me after school like, Preet, do you want to come play football with us? I'd always have to turn them down like, no can do, Billy. That fixed rate interest isn't going to find itself now, is it? Move it along, Billy. Go read your Biff and Chip books. I've got terms and conditions. It was nice. I used to get taken to these appointments with my parents, and the people there would never take me seriously. Like, my parents would walk in, I'd walk in after them, and they'd always react in that same patronising way. Like, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Singh, perhaps your son can wait outside? My dad would panic and go, no, he stays. I was a smug kid, so I let that go to my head, like, well, Barry. Looks like you'll be dealing with me now. Call me Mr. Singh. That's 2 coffees and 12 Ribenas. Don't ask questions, Barry. It wasn't all bad, though, because I used to get taken to my own parents' evening to translate. I was a terrible kid. That was a golden ticket. True story, in November of year 8, I got suspended from school for 3 days for hitting a kid in the head with a keyboard. That ended with my parents writing a letter thanking the school for their diversity and inclusion policy because I told them they gave me 3 extra days off with Diwali. I've been Preet Singh. Thank you very much.
Let's welcome to the stage our next act, the wonderful Tony Law.
All right! Boy, it's good to be out, isn't it? I only just came out of the lockdown. I've got nobody telling me. I forgot how to dress. Did we wear top hats? 'Cause I own a top hat. Must have worn it. You did not bring that top hat just for that bit, did you? I did. You're a maritime people. You love that sound. I'm still carrying my lockdown weight. This is my lockdown weight, which is exactly the same weight as before the lockdown. But now it's got a name. It's my lockdown weight. But God, my hat's on too tight. Oh, that's better. Tony, that is a great-looking headband. Thank you. Actually, I started wearing different colored headbands to remind me about some of the different issues I care about. This red headband, it reminds me about the issue of Facebook. You know, because you're walking along, you catch your reflection, and you think, why the fuck am I wearing a head? Facebook! Facebook knows all your information, Tony. Stop giving them your details. Facebook can manipulate you. Not me, it can't. I've been lying. Screw you, Zuckerberg. I don't even like tennis. Zuckerberg's such a dipshit. He thinks I like tennis because of my headband photographs. Not so smart now, silicone dick shit. Oh, man. I learned so much during the lockdown. I was canceling people during that lockdown. I just started canceling. A stranger I'd never met told me a thing about a stranger I'd never met, and I thought, let's fucking destroy their lives. And then when you find out they've got a family, that's the sweet spot. that got me through the lockdown, was destroying people's lives. I think the main thing I learned during the lockdown, though, is that if you want to get into falconry, you need more than just the glove. Stood out the window for days going, when does this get good? Come here, bird! Come here! I'm good, Joan, I'm good. Good lockdown, I'm loving it. You got some amazing acts ahead of you. Enjoy them. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I've been doing comedy a long time, and it's always been the same for me. Gigs are always the same for me. I go to the club, do my set, standing ovation, go home. It's always, But something has happened to comedy, I feel. Something's happened to certain audiences, and I first noticed it a couple of years ago. I was doing a gig at the Edinburgh Fringe, and I get heckled a lot. Everyone gets heckled a lot, but the heckles used to be like, "Oh, you're shit," or "You're not funny." I used to have that all the time, and I didn't really understand why. And then the heckles changed, and the heckles became a kind of pearl-clutching. How can you say that? Right, so I had this in Edinburgh at the Fringe, and this woman stood up and actually tried to stop the show because she said I was being misogynistic. Right, this bitch wouldn't shut up. Right, and the thing is, honestly. But it's not helpful because we all get offended by different. I get offended by things all the time. Misuse of the English language really offends me. In fact, I broke up with my first boyfriend because he couldn't spell parallelogram. I was like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. And that announcement, I hear it on the train all the time, like that fucking announcement. The train terminates here. No, I don't think it does. I think the journey terminates here. I think the train is going to live to see another day, isn't it? Unless you're telling me it's going to explode at the station, in which case evacuate the train. Don't just sort of blithely announce they're all about to perish. I think anyone who uses LOL in a text message should be put to death without trial, probably. I just think that's my limit. And we're going to crack straight on to our next act. Please welcome to the stage, Mary Burke.
I don't know if you agree with me, but I think the Irish sense of humour is extraordinarily dark. I don't know if any of you have ever been to the Titanic Museum in Belfast. Yes. Please go, it's great crack. If you're a fan of maritime disasters, do I have a museum for you, ladies and gentlemen? And I don't know if you know this, and there's no reason why you should, but the Titanic was actually built at Harland and Wolff shipyard, which is about 2 or 3 miles down the road from the museum. And in the gift shop, you can buy a T-shirt. And it's a famous newspaper photograph of the Titanic hitting the iceberg and sinking. And it just says, and this is so Belfast and so Northern Ireland, it just says, it was okay when it left here. Which is... that is bad taste, but it is funny. I did that joke at a comedy club in Hoxton, and they booed me. I had a room full of Hoxton hipsters who dressed like homeless magicians. Boo me. Had a very angry millennial come up to me after the gig, you know the type, some polyamorous vegan who self-identifies as a unicorn. So anyway, she comes galloping up. I say she, it could be they, them. I don't want to misgender a unicorn and get cancelled. So she comes galloping up, full of her own wokeness, to tell me that she's very offended by some of the material that she's seen that evening. And that's a very grandiose term for something you just don't like. And I say what I always say. I say, listen, madam, if you're offended by anything you've seen here this evening, please feel free to take your complaint to the Comedy Ombudsman. Where it'll be reviewed by a panel consisting of an Englishman, an Irishman, a Scotsman. A horse with a very long face, and a chicken that likes to cross the road. By which I mean there's just jokes, but feel free to grasp me up in your little blog. But we live in a world now where facts and feelings are the exact same thing, and I find it genuinely terrifying. About 2 or 3 years ago, there was an outbreak of measles at my local school, and I thought, measles? No one gets measles anymore. That's like rickets. That's not even a thing. That's like saying we had an outbreak of bubonic plague. We think it was spread by Venetian mercenaries, but we're not 100% sure. I was a bit baffled, but then I read a Facebook post by one of the school mothers and everything became clear. I just feel, speaking as a mummy, that vaccinations are wrong. I don't know my facts, but I do know my feelings, and my feelings are my truth. #feelings, respect my feelings. Unless your feelings have a control group and they've been peer-reviewed by a reputable scientific journal, I think we can safely ignore your feelings. They don't cure outbreaks of Ebola with tea tree oil and lavender. They didn't eradicate smallpox by rubbing 2 crystals together and hoping for the best. But here's the thing, farm ball mummies aren't vaccinating their children. But I have a solution, I think it's genius. What we need to do is rebrand vaccinations. We call them holistic limited exposure therapy. And then we lie to them and say the GP isn't really a GP, he's a shaman/Wiccan. Who's been trained by Gwyneth Paltrow, the famous American actress and well-known immunologist. And so by the light of a full moon when Mercury is in transit, we will inject your child with a magic serum from a crystal syringe made from genuine Himalayan crystals. This magic serum will protect your child from all kinds of negative energies, ions and toxins. It's also vegan-friendly and gluten-free. The amount of vaccinations will skyrocket. We finally eradicate measles. And I, Mary J. Burke, become the first ever comedian to win the Nobel Prize for Science. Thank you. Now, bye-bye.
Put your hands together for Simon Evans.
In a single bound, he takes the stage. Life in the old dog yet. How nice to see you, folks. Very nice to be here. I don't suppose anyone's asked you yet this evening, but did you have a good pandemic? No, not a terrific one. And I don't believe government figures. I'm sorry, they constantly massage figures. You cannot trust them at all. You don't know whose figures to trust. There is one metric by which I judge a pandemic, and that is celebrity death toll, because they can't fake that, right? Celebrity death toll, even Alex Jones would accept that. And I remember 2016. Oh, that's good, 1 or 2, no. 2016. He was right. 2016. The celebrity death toll was extraordinary. In January alone, we lost Alan Rickman, Terry Wogan, David Bowie, one of the Eagles went, Lemmy out of Motorhead. I know these are all dead. If you're hearing for the first time, I'm sorry. It was an absolute bloodbath. A load of whales washed up on a beach in Lincolnshire. It was like the book of fucking Revelation, and that was January. The year wore on, Prince fell out of the sky, Leonard Cohen, George Michael, Victoria Wood. It was an absolute catastrophe. It was a horrible year. I thought, if that can happen just through chance, what is it going to be like? Now there is this deadly plague. Well, I'm sorry, it's not been up to scratch, has it? Fucking, what have we lost? Eddie Large and the keyboard player out of the Stranglers. It's not...
My career has been derailed for a distinctly C-list event. On the other hand, I will acknowledge having a proper pandemic has given Public Health England something to worry about instead of interfering with my lifestyle choices, which seem to be their main preoccupation in the build-up. I remember the winter that led straight into the pandemic. They had repurposed every month Stoptober, in which you're supposed to give up smoking and take up investigating your own prostate or something. I don't know if you have to leave the pub and go and stand in a shop doorway in the rain to do that, or whether it's more socially acceptable in the Rose and Crown, which is actually quite a nice metaphor now I think of it, isn't it, for the old brass eye? I might start using that. And that's genuinely just occurred to me. And then there was November, in which you grow a mustache and investigate somebody else's prostate. And these are giving up smoking. I gave up smoking 20 years ago, but I do not regard smokers as a pariah. It's a lifestyle choice now. Anyone who hasn't given up yet can't fucking help it. Let's be honest. The price of a packet of fags these days, if you're still smoking, you've got a picture of a corrupted, cancerous lung on the front. Everyone regards you as the devil incarnate. You are not going to give up now. Give them a fucking break, to be honest. They are supporting society. They're not a drain. The fucking customs and excise raised on the price of a packet of fags opens a new wing of the local hospital every couple of weeks. And they don't block up the wards either. 2 months they're in, it's over, out, into the incinerator. But the worst one has got to be dry January, in which Public Health England would like you to compensate for your overindulgence in a couple of days at the end of December by giving up drinking for the entire month of January. Not just a month, but the single longest, darkest, wettest, windiest, most relentlessly miserable month in the entire fucking calendar, chiefly characterised by a credit card statement that appears about halfway through to remind you how much you spunked up the wall on your ingrate family to no great effect 3 weeks earlier. How can we ratchet up the misery one last notch? I know. Let's see if you can get through it without a drink. That'll be fun. Even in the Mediterranean, where human beings are supposed to live, where civilization first flourished, they lean heavily on the trampled grape to get through winter. In this windswept, rain-sodden, godforsaken corner of the North Atlantic. I don't just mean Bethnal Green, obviously I mean the entire thing, The idea that anyone can get through January without a drink is just sadistic. I would strongly counsel against even trying it. They come up now, even if you don't go dry, your weekly limit is 14 units of alcohol a week. Any more than that, your GP makes a little note, and they will start to put that into your files, and sooner or later you'll be denied some sort of treatment. 14 units of alcohol a week. And if you don't order in units, unlike the chief medical officer, who must be a right old laugh, on a Friday night, I would imagine, oh, I'll just have a unit of rosé, please. I'll have 2 units, save you the return journey. 14 units. 14 units is about 5 or 6 pints, roughly the point at which most of us start thinking about switching to shorts, basically. And it's your weekly allowance. In 1971, when the government first thought it might be appropriate to start interfering with your drinking, they released guidelines then to suggest you drink no more than 56 units a week. 56 units! That's more of a challenge than a ceiling, isn't it? I can't remember the last time I crossed the half-ton. I wouldn't mind having a little app that pinged when I managed to knock off 50 in a week. Yes! We can do this, and it's still only Thursday. Come on. I sincerely hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. Take care. Good night.
Anyway, I'm just going to leave you now with a little tip, because over lockdown I've been really getting into sexting. Do you know what sexting is? It's really fun. It's where you send really rude, filthy text messages to other people. It can be a lot of fun. It can be loads of fun, but if you're going to do it, be very careful. Because the other day, this is true, the other day I sent a text message and it said, "You make me so horny, I want to ride you all night long like the dog you are." And I sent that to my uncle, right? And just after I'd sent it, I just thought to myself, fuck, you know, can you imagine if I'd have sent that to the wrong person? Absolutely awful. You've been a fantastic audience. Thank you for coming to Comedy Unleashed. Please just give a round of applause to everyone you saw tonight. So well.
I've laughed from the beginning to the end. Fabulous.
I'd love to be a stand-up comedian one day. I'm not great at jokes.
Easiest person to make laugh go, so yeah, that's good.
It's not within the same narrow parameters that all TV comedy is now, you know, not self-censoring.
Happy to be about,
good
yeah,
people.
it's fun.
It's all good, good vibes.
Yeah, it's very good.